Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yes, I have to do that every single time now.
What are you contractually obligated?
Something like that. Anyways, welcome back to episode 4?
You sound so uncertain, Crow.
Yes, I believe, yes. Yes, it is 4. Someone has just notified me off camera that it is indeed 4. So,
But
what?
but we don't have cameras.
You don't?
This is just audio.
Oh, I'm on livedasmin.com, showing everybody. Naked, of course.
Crow, there are certain things you don't want to think about, and that's among them.
What, me being naked?
Yeah,
I have an amazing body, I'll have you know.
get to introducing yourself, you freak.
I am Mr. Crow, Martin Anderson, the Norse Crow, words, right, and I am here with my co-host, the one, the only, the bear in the hat.
Why am I a bear in the hat?
You're a bear in the hat now.
How did you get those photos?
You shall never know.
God damn it, Crow.
Good girlfriend went to me.
Well, then me and her will have to have a word when she's around again. But I'm Anthony Poe, aka Rand Cossack. And apparently Crow knows I'm a bear in a hat.
Exactly.
He shouldn't.
So
Bastard.
you had a subject, which is good, because I don't.
You always have subjects, you just pretend not to.
That's
Your
beside
brain is
the
like a
point. If
goddamn
I'm the
flux of
only one who
chaos.
have subject, you're just gonna sit there and not put any effort into it.
Oh, yes, most certainly, Yeah, let's go with that flight of fantasia.
What are we now? Are we gonna make Warcraft next? Warhammer?
Warhammer? What?
No, that's Fantasy Flight.
See,
Fantasy Flight
Fantasy-
games?
I'm so confused. But, one topic I figured we might go into. You ever watched Adventure Time?
No.
You have not watched Adventure Time.
No.
Well, son of a monkey.
There goes that topic.
Good job, Crow. And you say I don't put the effort in. You put in plenty of
shit.
effort. You just pull out the gun, you aim, and you just shoot the topic in the foot.
Sorry, people. That's it. That's all we have time for today.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, and oh, but in all seriousness, I wanted to talk about League of Legends.
League of Legends we could talk about, because I like League of Legends. Even though I'm sitting
Yes.
here looking at butt plugs, I can talk
What?
about League of Legends.
Why are you looking at butt? No, I'm not gonna ask that question. Not gonna ask that question because I don't want the answer. Damn it!
League of Legends, yes.
For those of you who don't know, League of Legends is a massive online MOBA or massive online battle arena type game.
That's what
where
MOBA stands for?
Massive online battle arena.
Okay.
MOBA. But I believe it stands for that. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, may a duck punch me in the face.
Throw in an
I don't see any
annotation.
waterfowl, so I'm okay. But it pretty much is 2 teams of 5, and the various champions that exist. These champions are, vary from samurais who use, wind powers to giant humanoid blobs that were created in, in science chambers. Whatever. Science!
To
And-
something that is like the Reaper himself who collects souls, to some narcissistic, arrogant gladiator executioner, to a little girl with very dangerous firepower,
Who can summon a flaming teddy bear named Tibbers.
who's very dangerous and very scary.
Very scary and very berry.
Yeah,
And it's not me in a top hat.
no, sadly.
But
But you can. Oh wait, you can get a skin where he has a top hat.
damn it, Crow. Stop talking about my cameos. But
I will make this happen.
But anyways, the game takes place in, a typical battle, typical huge field, 2 bases, 3 different lanes, and areas of neutral creeps. And the characters, these random champions, are brought together, even if they have conflicting stories, like 2 characters hating each other and wanting to murder each other, they can still work on the same team because when they're sent into the fields of justice, as they're called, they are not under their own control. They are led by what is known as the summoners. Basically, invisible mages that watch from on high as the battle takes place and control how the champion will behave in that battle. Tell them where to go, what technique to use when, and so on, so that they can try and win the battle. And in the end, it's basically a harmless battle that allows conflicts to take place without bringing in actual bloodshed. Yes, the champions are in fact getting killed and fighting, but in the end, they're not actually dying. They're basically just being, well, they are dying, but they're immediately being brought back.
Yeah, and some of these champions, some of them are there because they want to be there, some of them are imprisoned there, some of them are sent there because it's the only place they can go.
And some of them are just batshit insane.
Yep.
Some of them enter it for the potential for success and glory and so on. And some are there because they see it and they're like, hey, I could have some fun there.
Yep.
I'm gonna go there now.
So, yeah, there's a lot of varying motivations going on.
Which is one of the biggest strong points of this game. It's the gameplay style is very similar to Dota because it's the same general format, team versus team, and so on. But one of the best things about the game is how wide and varied the cast is.
Yeah,
I mean, to this date,
you will
I can't
find yourself one champion that you really like. Often you'll find several champions that you really like. And there's a lot of different roles, and each of those roles have a lot of varying champions within that role. And some champions can function as several roles.
Some champions can function in roles that they're specifically not designed for, but if you come up with the right strategy, it works.
Yep.
And it's a bit ridiculous. I mean, heck, you can take a healer. You can take a healer and make them a freaking mass murderer.
Yeah.
You can take a tank and turn them into a freaking. Actually, tanks are usually tanky one way or
No,
another.
you can make them
but
into sports.
true enough.
You can take one of the casters who is designed to melt people with fire and make them into a very dangerous support.
Yes, indeed. One moment.
Hang on. There's nothing wrong with your television set. Do not adjust your monitor.
Well, that was weird.
Are we back?
Oh, yeah, a large cactus just jumped into my room and started kicking me in the kidneys, and I don't know why.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Yeah, it is Sunday.
There's not a lot of cacti here, but when it does happen, everyone knows.
Hell, I'm in California. We don't normally get cacti out here. It had a freaking travel bag with it, too. It was weird.
Did it come with a
What it had
sombrero?
out me? No, but its travel bag was indeed, quite sombrero shaped.
I see.
But, anyways, that interruption aside, at this point, there is quite a few champions.
I think there's 117.
Yeah, there is. I do believe so. And they usually, for the longest time, they were releasing champions every other week.
Yeah.
And lately, they've sort of slowed down on that riot. But they still release a champion, every so often, and they make alterations to older champions and so on.
They make
It's
some
very good
reworks.
system.
Sometimes they just do a visual update. Sometimes they do complete reworks of champions. So they're not afraid to radically change everything they've made about a character.
Yeah, they're not afraid to change items, how they function, remove items, or, whatever the hell. I mean, one of the oldest champions, a character named Sivir, who is a battle mistress. She uses a giant bladed boomerang. She was one of the first champions, and her old model was hideous. It was
really
polygonal
was.
as all hell.
That was
It was-
not a pretty model.
It was ugly as sin. But she actually recently got a graphical update and a partial character rework, so that she functions differently and she looks a hell of a lot better now.
She looks... Actually, in terms of just body shape, she's one of the better looking females there. Because her
that's what you vote, so,
proportions
bro.
are natural.
Oh, she's a battle mistress.
Yeah.
She kind of
If that's one of
needs
the
to be.
problems I can have with League of Legends, is that some of the artwork is very titillating, and I'm
Nothing
not
you
really
can
fond of
find.
it. In particular, there's Misfortune.
Ah, misfortune.
It looks like she
Yeah,
has a pair of footballs strapped to her chest.
yeah. Misfortune, who is a a bounty hunter that hunts pirates. She's very clearly fan servicey. I mean, she
Yeah.
wears a top that barely covers her, and freaking tight pants and high heels. Hell, one of her innate abilities, called strut,
Strut. Yeah.
allows her to move much faster as long as she has not been attacked for a certain amount of time, after 5 seconds, to be specific. But her skins are all pretty much based around different kinks for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
there's her default outfit, which is her wearing a pirate outfit. Then there's Cowgirl Misfortune, which is her in a cowgirl outfit.
Then you have
Waterloo Misfortune.
you have
Uh,
her in leather and like skin tight leather and like a
yeah,
torn
Road
police
Warrior.
outfit kind of thing.
Yeah, Road Warrior Misfortune.
Yeah.
And
Who I for
one of
the
her,
longest time thought was Katarina every time I saw her.
yeah, she certainly looks it. And the last one is Mafia Misfortune, which actually is a rather good looking skin.
I'd say the
It
Mafia
looks
one is
respectful.
my favorite skin of hers.
It looks respectful. I mean,
Yeah.
she doesn't look like she's just there to be, have fan service. Sure, she's got the garters and the long boots on, but at least it looks like something someone could fight in a gunfight,
Yes.
compared
It looks
to,
functional.
the default. As opposed to the original one, which apparently has two straps holding it on, that if she were to lower her arms, her top would fucking fall off. And that's
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
Which is kind of entertaining when you look at her in game. She never lowers her arms. I just thought about that. But yeah, there's a lot of these champions, and I guess we can mention the ones that we personally really enjoy playing. I, for one, really enjoy playing one called Malzahar.
Ah, Malzahar.
Malzahar is pretty much the ultimate burst mage.
Malzahar is the prophet of the void.
Yes, and he has some very, very dangerous abilities. One
Yes, he
ability,
does.
which is damage over time, which can reach some insane amount of damage with the right items.
The Malefic Visions.
The Malefic Visions, yes. And then you
Yeah.
have this one area of effect which drains health depending on how much health the enemy has.
Yeah, maximum percentage, which is
Yes.
Null Zone.
And then you have his... what is it?
Call of the Void.
Call of the Void, which is basically an area of effect damage that you have to aim. It's a skill shot that does a very large amount of damage, and it will silence the enemy.
Yeah, it,
That's
it
his
rips
basic
open,
three abilities, the ones you will use the most. And then you have his ultimate, which is just cruel.
Every character has an ultimate that they can obtain at level 6.
Yes, and
In the game when you're
Malzahar's-
fighting, you level up.
And Malzahar's ultimate is Nether Vision, which has a
Nether-
long range, can completely lock down an enemy champion, and does a sickening amount of damage at the same time.
Yeah, he suppresses the enemy, and by God, is it harmful? Because one of the most basic combos with Malzahar is you throw Call of the Void out, you throw Malefic Visions on them, you throw down a Null Zone underneath them, and then you hit them with Nether Grasp. They're silenced, they're stunned, they're locked in place, and they're taking an excruciating amount of damage over time.
Yes,
And-
and to top it off, while you're casting your Nether Vision, which locks them in place, if you're close enough, you can use what's called your Summoner spells, which are extra spells that you can use, which is Teleport, or you can Flash, which is basically a blinking spell. And you can use something called Ignite, which is another damage over time. This does not cancel any of your abilities if you cast it.
Yeah, the summoner spells are basically the summoner who is controlling that champion using a specific spell that they have access to, that they've been given permission to use in the battle as an extra effect.
Yeah.
And the one offensive move that there is called Ignite. It affects an enemy target and deals what's known as true damage. Normal damage can be, reduced if you have magic resistance or physical armor, but true damage is damage that has no means of being protected against outside of barriers and the like, or
Yeah.
invulnerability
It's
items
impossible to reduce in any way.
outside of a barrier.
Yeah. So,
But
Malzahar's full combo can bring pretty much any champion from 100 to 0.
And even if they have support with them, because Ignite has a special ability on it called, uh, I think it's Grievous Wounds or something like that,
Nah, I think
and
so.
and it makes it so the opponent receives 50% less healing from any source and recovers at 50% less health if they have natural regeneration. So it pretty much weakens any kind of support that you could give to them, and just helps burn them down to nothing.
Yeah. And Malzahar's complete combo is probably the deadliest full combo in the entire game.
One of. There are a lot of very good combos that many haven't even thought of yet.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
he
I'd
is
say
very good.
overall, like one-on-one, engaging Malzahar one-on-one, unless you have some sort of stun or silence, is a horrible idea.
Yeah, there's a reason he's listed as an assassin.
Yes. He's one of the only few pure casters that is an assassin.
Yeah, he can be pretty scary. But another thing that's interesting about these characters is you can just play them at face value and ability value and whatnot and ignore everything else about them. But every single character in this game has an interesting backstory attached to them. They've got
For the most
interesting
part.
lore. Some of them are slightly...
Have you read Rammus's backstory?
Not recently.
It's bad. It's pretty much he was just like, you know, I'm gonna build some armor and figure out who I am. That's about it.
For every flop, though, there are some interesting.
There are really good.
ones.
Like, one of the ones I really enjoy is Thresh, the Chain Warden. Thresh is a very, very interesting champion. He's basically this ghostly creature that walks around with a lantern and a very dangerous scythe on a chain.
Yeah, sickle.
A sickle on a chain. And he is listed as the Chain Warden. And his lore is basically that he was a warden of a prison who enjoyed torturing the inmates with chain-like implements. And upon his death, people thought they were rid of him. Turns out they were not. Now he traps people's souls and tortures them into sweet insanity because then they taste better.
Yeah.
It shit can get dark.
Not someone you really want to meet in an alleyway at any point.
But goddamn, that design is good.
And with certain lore, they actually feed into other characters' lore. Like with Thresh, he actually feeds into a character named Lucian, who is basically, a hunter.
100% wife
And-
steal.
100% what?
100% wife steal.
Oh, wife steal. I thought you said life steal.
I know.
But
That was the joke. I'm funny. I'm a comedian.
waka waka. But Thresh actually came into contact with Lucian's wife, and he stole her soul. And
Keeps
that
it in his
pretty much-
lantern.
Yeah, that's one of the only souls that he has not, devoured yet, specifically to torment Lucian, who is now hunting Thresh at all times, trying to find him and free his wife's soul so she can be at rest.
Which is why it's so entertaining when you're playing and you see a Lucian being supported by a Thresh.
Yeah, the
Oh,
two
the
working
irony.
together. It's just like, I want to murder you, but
Oh, it's so
Okay, it's
ironic
good for
and
them.
hilarious. And the thing is, they're a really good combo.
yes, they are. Oh. And the lore is there for those who they want some extra content to it. If they want to, take the time to read it and, get a better understanding of one of their favorite characters, it's there for them. You don't have to read it, but it's still an
I
interesting.
don't really read the lore at all.
I
But
rarely.
I like I play characters based on how they play and what they look like for a lot of the part too.
hmm
What
Well-
other champions do I play a lot? Warwick. I actually really like Warwick. Warwick is a werewolf, and he's a lot of fun to play because he can get really goddamn tanky.
And for those who don't know, tanky means someone who can absorb a lot of damage and
Yeah, they're very hard to
survive
kill.
very well.
Warwick is one of those who gets insanely hard to kill.
Yes, he does. And a lot of these characters, a number of them actually draw references from other things, like, say, Wukong. He's even titled as the Monkey King. He's clearly, based off of the story of Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
And heck, his abilities reflect that. He's got the Nimbus Strike, where he flies at the enemy on the Nimbus cloud. The Decoy, he makes a clone of himself and it turns invisible to, fool the enemy.
Yeah, and Sivir is pretty much Xena.
Yeah, she even has a Xena skin.
I know.
Hell, she's got a Wonder Woman skin, to my
I
knowledge
hate
as well.
that skin. Then again, I really dislike Wonder Woman in general.
That's another can of worms.
It's a Greek Amazon dressed in the American flag. Blah.
I don't know enough about comics or Wonder Woman in general to really be able to debate you on her, but I can understand where you're coming from. But all in all, League of Legends is just a really fun game. It's enjoyable. It's got a lot of good to it. There are some parts that are floppy.
It gets especially enjoyable if you have people to play it with.
It's a game that works the absolute best when you play it with friends.
Because then you can have a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially if, you're over a call with them. You're talking with them live while playing.
Yeah.
You can have a ton of fun with this game.
Like, at one point I was playing a champion called Syndra, and Syndra is all about balls. Okay, spheres. She's all about spheres. I don't remember what her title is, because I don't have League open right now.
She's the Dark Sovereign.
The Dark Sovereign, and she's all about summoning dark spheres that she attacks with. And
basically concentrated forms of her immense magical power.
Exactly. So when you use her Q, that's where your abilities are lined up at Q, W, and E, and then your ultimate at R. So you use her Q and you summon one of these spheres, and you can summon 3 before they vanish completely.
Yeah, they each have a time limit.
And they each have a timer, and you can have like a maximum of 3 at a time. I think I can have 4 with maximum cooldown, but that's pointless. And then you use her ultimate, which uses an additional 3, so you have a total of 6. So when we're playing, if I'm playing Syndra, it's all about the balls. No matter what it is, it's all about balls. Like shooting people with balls, like smacking people with my balls, or sending my balls flying. It's a lot of entertaining stuff.
Highbrow humor here with Crow.
Yes.
Nothing but highbrow humor.
This is humor at the highest level.
Yes, of course. No southern fruit here.
Yeah. If there is a problem with League, and there are several problems, but the biggest one for me has to be the community.
That's unfortunately the problem. That's the problem with a lot of games. It's not the game's fault, it's the people playing it.
Yeah, and the community for League of Legends, it is toxic. I wouldn't say it's as toxic as other, like, say, Call of Duty or Dota. Dota's community is seriously one of the sickest one I've ever seen.
They refuse to allow you to play in your own style. You have to follow a cookie-cutter recipe, or else they will just bash you. Yeah. And I've learned to just ignore them. I play how I play, and if they don't like it, oh well. But yeah, there are certain people who, when you encounter them, you just don't want to be there with them, or you wish you could just turn onto the other team and just punch them in the face.
Yeah, and you might think, oh, they're just trolls. No, these are genuinely people who will be like, fuck you, faggot, go kill yourself. I hope you get hit by a truck full of cancer, stuff like that. It's bad. It can get really, really bad. And the worst part of it is the blame game.
Oh, yeah.
Where if the team goes bad, it's not their fault. It's never their fault.
That's something that I find rather amusing and just hilarious. When I make a mistake in League of Legends or, games like that, I say, sorry, that was my fault. And they don't seem to know how to react to that.
No, they don't.
If you actually, take responsibility for screwing up, it's just like, how can I blame them? They accepted responsibility. Oh, God!
I actually did something really entertaining here the other day. I was playing League.
Boy.
So, I was playing a normal game, and it was going really badly. And one of the players was trash-talking me a lot. He was, calling me a fag, things like that. And at one point I was like, I just figured, I know how to make this person shut up. So I just wrote, oh, please stop. No, 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 no. You're giving me an erection. At which point he was just like, shut the fuck up, homo. And then he didn't say anything else. He just shut up after that.
Oh, wow. Oh, Crow. Why are you so Crow, Crow?
Because I'm Crow. Good call.
Oh,
That was interesting.
yeah.
I actually got that one from Stephen Fry.
Huh. But, for the most part, there's still, a fair number of good people in the game. I mean,
Every now and then you come across really cool people too.
and it's always all the more satisfying when you get into a match and even the enemy team who you're trying to beat, even they are friendly. They have a good sense of humor. They're willing to chat with you, be nice,
Play up
play
the
banter.
rivalry, for example. That's always entertaining when that happens. When you have this little rivalry going with the enemy, like if you're playing the attack damage carry, which is basically the marksman that goes around picking off people.
Hmm.
If you're playing like a little like rivalry with them about who gets to kill the other one the most, if you're really like neck and neck about it, that's when stuff gets very entertaining.
Yeah, and when you have a full game of just your friends, just both sides are friends, and you know each other, and you're playing against each other. That's basically, in my opinion, the best case scenario, the ultimate way to play this game.
Because then there's friendly trash talking, and you're all chatting away, and you're all having a blast.
Yeah, that's actually where you and I met. We used to play together on a stream for which is run by a guy named Randy, who has a stream called, I believe it's isn't it Zulu Tango,
Yes.
on Twitch, and we used to have every week the stream versus the Skype call, and basically the people that were on the stream in that Skype call played together against the chat that was in the Twitch chat. We made pre-made games of 5v5s, and we went up against each other. And by God, there were such hilarious moments back there
There really
with the different
are.
personalities, playing into each other and just having so much fun. And I still have, from time to time, I'm tempted to go back and rewatch the replays, and just it's hilarious hearing the opposite side, even when I'm not on their side,
Yeah.
chatting on the stream. It's just like, oh my God, I wish I could have heard that. The shit was hilarious.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff. So League of Legends is, for me, it is a very social game. So you get it. It's very quick to pick up, and it's, each match usually lasts about 25 to 30 minutes. And when you play it with people, people you have like good chemistry with, and how you talk and how you play together as well. My God, it can be entertaining.
It's a very satisfying game as long as, well, not as long as, but if you have the right setting, the right group of friends, it's amazing. It can be just the best of fun.
Yeah. And there are bots you can play against that can help you, learn the game.
And you still get rewards for defeating bots. You still get points for spending on buying characters permanently and so on.
So yeah, and there's also free champions every week, and they always rotate, so you get to try new every week.
Yeah, I'll say
And there's
this.
always one for each role. There was always a free support, there was always a free ADC, there was always a free caster, or things like that.
Yeah, in this game, there's an extremely large cast, but not all of them are available when you first play. When you first play, you only get to play as those free-to-play champions that are available for that week. But that's a good thing for it, frankly, because it makes you interested in what's going to be coming next week. You've got a set of champions for this week. You play through them. You might like some of them. You might not like some of them. But by the time the next week rolls around, you've got an entirely new set to play with, and new characters to play as, new things to try, and so on. And it encourages you to come back and play.
Exactly.
If you find a character you really like, you earn points, which are called influence points, and you can purchase them permanently, and it unlocks them for good. You can use them at any time, regardless of what the current rotation is.
And I remember the first champion I bought was Master Yi.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a good character.
Some characters, when you first play as them, you'll really like them. Some characters you won't, but when you come back to them, you might have more experience, and you may find you like them.
Yeah,
It's a game that
I
makes
also bought Annie, the little fire starter bitch.
Little
And
Orphan
when I
Annie.
first bought her, I really did not like playing as her. But now, I freaking love playing as Annie.
Yeah.
She has such damage potential. She is so goddamn dangerous.
Yeah, and that's one of the best parts about League. It encourages replayability, and it's honestly just it's fun.
And there's a champion for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There is a design you like or a play style you like, and there is a champion exactly for that, regardless of what role you like to play.
Or a character's personality that you enjoy.
Exactly. Like in
Hmm? What are you humming?
I'm trying to think of one who's based
Jinx?
on personality. Jinx is one I like on her personality.
And her abilities, my god.
Yeah, and it also Jinx is one of those examples about how Riot will go about showcasing a champion because they made an awesome music video,
Yeah, get
which
Jinxed.
they had no reason to make this, but they did, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Sung by
It
a
was-
Norwegian woman at that.
Yeah, it was... I'm sure you're happy about that.
I am.
But it's one of the biggest hypes they've ever made, because they've only made, I think, 2 other videos in total for League of Legends, and this was one of the biggest ones. And by videos, I mean specifically animated for that, not just showcasing a character, because they do a character showcase for every new champion, showing off their abilities and so on.
Champion Spotlight.
Yeah, Champion Spotlight. But with Jinx, they had built it up for like a month,
I
if
think
not
it was
longer.
actually they built it up for longer than that. They kept giving hints.
Mm-hmm. And when she finally arrived, and we had that music video, everyone loved it. I've got it favorited. I've got it, saved for later because I love rewatching that video from time to time. The music is just great. The animation is fantastic.
The energy it brings with it, the personality of Jinx. This thing really did cement the character.
Yeah, it sold Jinx.
And it's also the character is also voiced by Ash from Hey Ash, What You Playing?
It is?
Yes, it is. Same woman, the same chick who voiced Tiny Tina.
I did not know that she voiced those two. I know she voiced Tiny Tina. I mean, heck, she actually kind of makes a semi-referential mention in her character. At one point, she says, "You think I'm crazy? You should meet my sister."
She's talking about Vi.
Vi's not her sister. They've confirmed that.
Oh, they have. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm
either
pretty sure
way,
I'm pretty sure she's talking about Tiny Tina.
Jinx and Tiny Tina is voiced by Ash from Hey Ash, What You Playing?
I did not know that, but it makes all the more sense.
Yes, it does. And you can hear it. Once you know that, you can hear it as well.
Much like Takahata 101 from Team
Pretty
4
much,
Star.
yeah. But
Once
Jinx is... Oh, she's fun to play. I'm a terrible ADC. In fact, it's one of the things I'm worst at. But I still find Jinx to be very entertaining to play.
You can be bad at a role and still have fun playing it, though,
Exactly.
depending on the character. That's something League of Legends does real good.
For me, the roles that I prefer is mid or jungle. Mid is basically where the casters usually go, which are the magic-based ones. They usually go there, and they're the ones that completely melt people.
Mhm.
And jungle is where you have someone who roams around killing the neutral creeps and comes in for ganks. Ganks being where, you push a lane in the favor of your team by suddenly it being 2 versus 1 or 3 versus 2. And
Yeah,
that's-
or basically ambushing a group of enemy characters and just destroying them.
Yeah.
Getting the jump on them.
That's the roles I prefer. I prefer jumping out of the bushes and flashing.
Oh, well, we're talking about League of Legends here, not your normal day-to-day life.
Right. I can combine the two.
But we don't want you to, and I'm pretty sure the authorities don't either.
They don't know what I'm doing. Nobody knows what I'm doing. They see the character, they don't know what I'm doing in real life as I jump out of the bush.
Oh God, Crow. Eventually, just
I've
We're gonna have
also,
people
that's a
ask.
funny thing I'm just going to mention, because I've completely destroyed the character of Jinx for a friend of mine called Crystal. Like,
oh dear.
completely destroyed, because at one point I had this thought, as I usually do, Like, why is the guns... Jinx has 2 guns, a Gatling gun and a rocket launcher, and they're called Pow Pow and Fishbones. So, I had this thought, like, does she fuck her guns?
God.
And
Why
suddenly,
do you
the
think of
names
these things?
Fishbones and Pow Pow made more sense. So, of
What
course, me being me, I had to Google this. So, I Googled Jinx fucking guns. And of course, the internet being the internet, I found a picture of this. Don't worry, we're not going to put this up on the video.
God forbid we would.
But yes, I
No.
found a picture of Jinx riding her rocket launcher.
Okay. No. Just no, Crow.
I
No.
have a very wide
Bad Crow,
grin
no
right
crowing.
Because I have these weird things sometimes where I just Google image search.
Yeah, these weird things. It's called your brain.
Yeah, but I sometimes I just Google image search certain phrases just to see what I can come up with, like with the search filter off. Oh, hey. My Little Pony. My Little Pony brings up some awesome stuff.
In what respect are you talking?
That depends on what you mean by what respect.
I'm hoping you're not saying sexually, because if it's not sexually, I can see, yeah. My Little
Of
Pony
course
is-
it's sexual.
God.
It's the internet. And it's My Little Pony. And you know what? I don't have anything against My Little Pony, but seriously, that fan base can be fucked up.
Any fan base can be effed up.
It can be,
Twilight.
but My Little Pony is just weird for me.
Well, let me ask you then. Have you watched this show?
I haven't watched it, and I'm not going to, on sheer principle.
What principle?
The principle that it's ponies. It's colorful ponies.
And?
I don't want to watch anything about colorful ponies.
What about Jinx? She's plenty colorful.
Yeah, but she's also a complete psychopath.
You've never met Pinkie Pie, now have you?
Come on.
Honestly, I like that show. I think it's enjoyable.
I can understand that people find it enjoyable. I just don't get the people... I don't get the rabid fan base of it. Like, the fetishistic, like, just sheer... Oh, what's the word?
Sheer.
I don't get the
Shearing
extreme...
bushes?
I don't get the extreme fandom of it.
Well, every series has a fandom of that, has fans
Yeah,
of that
it's just
sort. It's just a matter of which ones are loud enough and how many are loud enough to be like that.
That's the thing, though. Like, the My Little Pony fan base, it's so vocal.
I think that's a good thing.
It's fine to be vocal about what you like, but you don't have to be all fucking bro-hoofing up in people's faces.
Well, then, are you saying that, people who are fans of, I don't know, Warcraft shouldn't be, talking about For the Horde or whatever the hell?
If you're out in the public and you're walking down the street and you see another friend of yours and you're not going to be like, For the Horde, and run towards them. That's dumb. If you
Okay,
do
what
that at
about
con,
Trekkie?
fine.
What about Trekkies and whatnot?
Trekkies are also weird.
Well, I'm just saying, every fan base has these.
Every
people.
fan base has it.
No.
It's just...
Football fans,
uh,
sports fans.
I know, different things. Sports are different.
No, they're entertainment.
They're
the same
also
as-
different. There's a difference between a sport and an animated show. Sports are real.
Point remains, Crow. Every fan base has those fans. It's just a matter of whether you're specifically looking for them and how loud they may be.
Yeah,
I mean, heck, we don't even blink
the
an
My
eye
Little
against.
Pony fan base is very, very loud, and especially the creepy ones are really
Hell,
loud.
NASCAR fans are real loud. So are football fans. and
Yes,
baseball
but
fans,
here's the
sports
thing.
fans.
I Google search weird shit, okay? I found someone, yes, you're gonna want to hear this, you're probably gonna not, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. I
course you
found
will.
someone who makes custom fleshlights that are basically the pussies of the ponies in the show.
I am not showing what a fleshlight is. I'm not, because I don't know absolute for certain what one is, and I don't want to know.
Exactly.
Ugh.
That's the weird stuff.
Well, There's that kind of thing for every fan base. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Star Trek, etc.
And it's equally
Football
creepy. The
fans,
thing is, though, they're not as vocal as the My Little Pony fan base is.
only because people pull so much attention to them.
They pull attention to themselves.
Think about it this way, Crow. You know Earthbound,
Yes.
or Mother, rather? That fan base, it's very vocal. However, the only reason that we even know it's there is because we focus on it, because they're vocal.
I don't know,
We're the ones giving them the attention, and the attention is what lets them be louder.
I swear to God,
So-
it's like the universe draws these people towards me.
I don't really blame fan bases for series. I don't blame series for fan bases. Honestly, I think that series can be good, even if their fan base is quiet. I mean,
Yes,
heck,
but the thing is, I'm not sure, like, I can sit and watch a show about magical ponies knowing there is some creepy fat dude with a neck beard sitting there masturbating to fucking Fluttershy. That's one of those
Well-
things that just, it skeeves me.
well, there's that for every series, though.
I know
There
there's
are
that
guys
for
that
I know there's that for Naruto. I know there's that for whatever show it is. I know there's that for a lot of anime.
There's that for Doctor Who.
I know there's that for Doctor Who, but
There's that for baseball and football and sports.
I don't
You
watch
can't say
sports.
there isn't. Well, me either, but just saying,
But
you can't say there
it's
isn't.
the fact that it's ponies, underage girl ponies.
Well, let me ask you this. Also, you don't know. I'm certain the series is not, mentioned an age of consent for anything in that series, so we're not getting into that.
I'm just
So
gonna
you can't really
assume
say
they're underage
underage.
based on how they look.
Considering they have jobs and are self-employed and such.
So do 12-year-olds in China.
We're not talking about China. But let me ask this. You ever wanted to see a guy drink
No.
a cup of chocolate milk that fills in reverse, but doesn't drink the contents, drinks the cup, and then throws the chocolate milk aside and it detonates?
That'd be cool.
My Little Pony. That is Discord, who is voiced by Q from Star Trek.
Yeah, one character cannot redeem an entire show.
There's more than one character. That's just an example that I knew would fit to your...
It's become one of those things that I just don't want to watch it on principle anymore. On the principle of what it is and what the fans are. It's a dumb
That seems
principle, but I
that
just
seems
don't.
unfortunate.
I just don't want to watch something about colorful ponies.
Doctor Who is in the series.
Damn it!
Doctor Hooves is in there.
Oh, that's stupid.
Hell, Weird Al Yankovic is going to be making an appearance soon.
Oh, whoop-de-hey! Weird Al Yankovic, who hasn't been relevant in the last 10 years.
Oh, bullshit. Don't you diss Weird Al. He's awesome.
I'm Norwegian. He was awesome.
He still is.
What the fuck has he done? Has he done
He still
anything in
makes-
10 years?
Yeah, he's still making music. People just don't talk about it as much because they're focused on other things.
Right.
He's still making good music, though.
So, Weird Al Yankovic, a dude who I don't really give a damn about, is gonna be in a show I don't give a damn about.
There's plenty of other characters. There's plenty of cameos. Hell, you ever watch The Big Lebowski?
No.
Okay, let me think. Because there's a lot of... That's a good thing about the show, though. It makes a lot of subtle references that you don't get unless you've seen the content of
Do
those
they
series.
reference Sallow?
Who's Sallow?
It's a movie.
I don't know Sallow.
Have they referenced a Serbian film?
I can't say I've watched a Serbian film.
No, the movie is called a Serbian film.
Can't say I've seen it.
What doesn't surprise me. It's one of those quoted as one of the sickest movies ever made kind of thing.
Well, then I doubt they're going to make a reference to it.
See,
but they've
they're
made...
not catering to my needs and desires.
That is childish in you. Know.
I know. But yeah, it's one of those things, like, I fully respect that people like it. But I want people to respect that I don't want to on shared principle.
Well, I'm not saying that, I don't...
You're totally
respect-
saying it! You're against me! You're all against me! Who sent you? You're a bear in a hat! How do I know I can trust you?
Because I have a hat?
Fair enough.
I respect people who aren't, don't want to watch the series just as much as I respect people that watch it. There's nothing wrong with either side.
Yeah,
I
but
just,
in general, any fans of any fandom or people who even passingly enjoy something, they'll demand an answer for why you don't want to watch it. Simply saying I don't want to is never enough anymore.
well, from my point of view, I prefer to know why someone would not want to watch something or engage in something specifically so I can have complete understanding. I like to understand people. With other people, it's not so much that they want to understand. I'm not saying all, but with some, it's more that they just want to try and hammer home that you must see it or must, do it or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I just
for
don't
me,
I
it's
don't
just from a
like
point of understanding.
I don't like the logic of if you haven't watched it, you can't form an opinion.
Well, that's kind of true,
Yeah, I
judging the book by
understand
its cover.
that, but the thing is, like, if you say, I just don't feel like watching it, and someone says why, and they're just like, I don't want to. They'll never stop questioning why. Like, how could you possibly not want to watch it? I like it, therefore you must want to watch it.
For me, if someone tells me because I don't feel like it, if I say, "Is that really why?" and they say, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay," and I just let it drop. Not a lot of people can, but if someone doesn't want to watch something because they just don't feel like it or just aren't interested, I won't force them.
I know that. It's just that's like the general way people do things. And I have a
Yeah,
lot of things that I just don't feel like watching or don't feel like playing or stuff like that. It's just that's how I work.
it's understandable. Everyone's got their different tastes. If everyone shared the same damn taste and opinion in the world, I would not want to live in this world anymore. I would pull a Professor Farnsworth and I would just grab a spaceship and fly away.
What
I'd
if they
go
were
live
all
on
like
freaking, I
me?
don't know, Pluto or something. What?
What if they were all like me?
Dude, you aren't going to get that plan finished by this year. You know that.
Not by this year,
You said
but
you were going to
there's
finish it
always
last
next
year,
year.
man. You know, what you put off today and try to do next year is never going to happen.
I'm not putting it off. It's just it needs time until the device is ready.
Crow, you said the device was going to be ready 2 years ago.
I never said anything about that. That was a different device.
Well, then what device are you working on this time? Hmm?
The Master Baton 3000.
What's a Master Baton 3000?
No, it will make the world masturbate itself to death.
How is that making everyone like you?
Think about that for a second.
No, because it doesn't explain. Making people jerk off will not make them think like you.
Just for once, I'd like to see all standing cock in hand.
What
To
the hell are
hear
you
them
referencing?
jerk it far and wide, spray jizz throughout the land.
Oh my
Do,
god.
do, 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 do.
For the love of all that isn't Holy Crow. No. What in the hell, man?
This is why we do this show.
So that you can sing about jerking off
Yeah,
to the internet?
yes. That was the purpose of this all along.
Well then, I most certainly missed a page.
We have pages?
Fair enough. I mean, that would require paper, and who has paper anymore?
Exactly. Fuck, I can't even read my own handwriting. No, it's actually really that bad. I have dyslexia and I have like motor function problems. I literally can't read my own handwriting. School was
Oh,
a
that
blast for me.
You don't say.
Oy vey.
I used to
You have
get
to
bad
deliver
hand
this story
cramps.
by 8 tomorrow.
What?
Like you have to deliver some kind of like homework or something when you come to school in the morning. And I can't read my own handwriting. How do you expect the freaking teacher to be able to?
Teachers often seem to have their own freaking language of existence with their
Pretty
writing.
much.
And doctors. I mean, heck, when it comes to writing, oddly enough, I'm awful at handwriting only because I'm not good at writing uppercase and lowercase. I actually was not taught how to write all lowercase letters. I know how to type all letters in uppercase, or write all letters in uppercase, but not in lowercase.
Yeah.
And I barely know how to read cursive. I don't know how to write cursive.
I have no idea how to
Heck, I
write
don't even have a
cursive.
signature. But
I have a
you know,
signature, but it's just like doodles. It's just a
for
very
me,
consistent doodle.
yeah, for me, it's just writing out my name. That's it. But
I had something I was going
I'm
to say.
awful
What
at
the hell was it?
handwriting because I get hand cramps and whatnot. But I'm amazing at typing. I can type excruciatingly fast. English is actually my best subject.
And yet you still didn't know that sheeps isn't the word.
What?
Sheeps. The plural for sheep is sheep.
Yes.
You did
What,
not
didn't
know this.
That? Now you're pretending like I didn't know that word.
You didn't.
You're the only one that's saying that.
I will find the chat log. Actually, didn't there is no chat log. That wasn't. Fuck.
Well, now, this evidence is inconclusive, sir. I don't believe that you can really use that now, can you?
I'll go back in time and record it.
Good luck with that. When you gonna
Call
try and
out
get
the
the doctor
doctor.
to help you?
But actually, speaking of English as a subject, I was actually expelled from English class in school because we have English as a secondary language that we have to learn. I was
It's nice
expelled
of
from that during high school because I was better in English than my teacher. I was correcting my teacher in English, and I got thrown out.
That's something I wish America would do is make, when you're taking English, have another language be there too. Because being bilingual is so damn useful.
Yeah,
I am not. I want to learn other languages, but I am not good at it. I mean, heck, when I was learning Spanish, I actually got a spinal injury. So I couldn't attend for a couple of months. And by the time I came back, I was so far behind that I had to drop the class, and I didn't want to.
yeah. That's the
But
thing is, we have Norwegian, our own language, which is basically English for you.
right,
And then we have English as a secondary language that we have to learn, like grammar and some history stuff and whatnot. And
Right.
then later, when we're done with the first 10 grades of school, because that's
Yeah.
how we have first to 10th grade, and then we go on to work education after that,
Mhm.
which I guess would be high school.
Sort of. That sounds more like job training.
It's basically job training. You get this set, whatever. And fuck, lost my train of thought. What
You're
was it?
talking about how they taught you Norwegian, then
Yeah,
they taught you
they
English.
teach us Norwegian, then they teach us English, and then when you get into this next set of education, they teach you another language. You get to choose between French, German, and Spanish, but you have to
But-
pick one.
Which one did you pick?
This was before my time.
Oh,
This was
so
only
they don't do that anymore?
no, they do it now, but they didn't when I was in school.
Then that wouldn't be before your time. That would be after your time.
Okay, after my time, then it's after my time.
Do we need the doctor here to give you a lesson about linearity?
There is no linearity. But yeah, that's how it is. So basically, as it is now in school, Norwegian students have to learn
Three languages.
two.
Well, three in total.
You don't have to learn your own language.
Yes, you do.
Well,
You go up to a baby that's
well,
born,
when I
that's,
think learn language, I think new language.
It is for children. You go up to a baby that was born in France and who is actually, Japanese.
I
and
get
that
your
kid is not
point.
going
I
to
get
speak.
your point, but mine is that we learn two new languages.
Fair enough.
I actually learned English. I remember the exact moment I started learning English. Or not the exact moment, but what taught me English. It was actually Terminator 2. Because a friend of my dad had an imported VHS tape of Terminator 2, but that it didn't have subtitles. But I liked the movie so much that I watched it over and over and over again until I actually started understanding what was being said.
Crow, just because you're made of liquid metal, that doesn't mean that everyone else can learn in that method.
I just absorb things. I'm a gigantic sponge.
We're not all so lucky, Crow. I mean, heck, if we were all, the same as you, we would all know every language in the world by now. But
If all
we
was
would
the
be
same as
lazy
me,
to
the
do
world
it.
would have ended by now.
Yeah, then we would have had a Borg situation going on.
Pretty much, yeah.
And we
Some
really don't
huge
need that.
collective hive mind made of awesome and hedonism.
Would it really be a hive mind or more of a nest mind, considering you're crow?
I don't know. Because when you think hive mind, there was always one being that sits on top, on top that controls the rest. That's basically how a hive mind works. Is you have one central point that spreads out to the rest.
I think you're a bit too lazy to be the hive mind.
I'm definitely too lazy to be the hive mind.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be a.
I think
I don't think you're gonna be a queen ant anytime soon.
I just hop from planet to planet, converting everything into crow, and then I'll just move on to the next one.
And suddenly we have a swarm of planets that are just covered in beings that don't have thumbs.
I have thumbs.
But you're a crow.
I'm a crow with thumbs. I'm a higher evolution of crow.
But how do thumbs factor into how wings work? You don't have fingers.
I have both.
You got feathers.
I'm like a transformer. I'm like a meaty transformer.
Well, what's your alternate form?
My alternate form? Oh, you don't want to know.
But if your default form is a bird, then what would your alternate form be?
Human.
Can you really be called human?
No, but that's why it's an alternate form. I'm in hiding. Like Superman.
Wouldn't that be humanoid?
Humanoid, then.
Are you the Noid?
I'm not the Noid.
Do you sell pizzas?
No.
Do you chase pizzas?
I'm a mechanic.
Yet you don't know the difference between a switch and a button.
I know the difference. It was just you who came with this really fucking deep Zen meta riddle.
It's not my fault that your brain can't comprehend the higher level thinking that I obtained. By
You
talking
can't
to my
comprehend
mouse.
mine.
It's like two warring factions, chaos versus unity.
Kinda, yeah. But that's the wonderful thing, is that someone pointed this out to me. Is
What was
that
that?
that there is logic in what I'm saying. It's just that the logic is really weird. But it is logical.
What, so you're a Cyberman from the classic Doctor Who age? There is logic in this.
Yeah, it's basically illogical logic.
Illogically logic?
It's paradoxical logic in that by its nature it shouldn't work, but because of how logical it is, it does.
Well, then it's obvious you don't want to try and get the Doctor to help you. What you're looking for is the Master. He's the one that,
I
enjoys
think me and him would get
paradoxes.
along, actually.
You and the Master?
Hmm.
You don't say.
Kind of look the same too.
You just want a laser screwdriver, don't you?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want a freaking laser screwdriver, goddammit?
But I'd convert it into an e-cigarette.
Hey, who says that all the functions it has to have is just, laser,
I
scan,
imagine now the
aging?
Master sitting around after having conquered the world with a freaking laser screwdriver in his mouth, and it's also a cigarette.
He didn't. It cut to, a year later when he reappeared in the new series. How do you know that, that thing doesn't have more functions that he just didn't mention?
Yeah.
What do you think he was doing for that year?
Hey, how long have we been going? Long
I
enough,
have no
I'm pretty
idea.
sure. So yeah, this has been nonsensical.
So in other words, it's been another episode.
Yeah. This has been episode 4 of Subject to Change. If you enjoyed this episode, why not leave us a like and subscribe so you can keep up with the newer episode later. We usually upload on Sundays, as I believe is the schedule now.
Or instead of demanding that, you could just ask them to, leave their thoughts in the comments.
You can also do
Instead of
that.
Instead of demanding that they, have to follow us. What do you think, they're lemmings? Huh? You saying they're lemmings?
Yeah, they're all sheep. They'll do everything I say.
Which means sheeps?
It's not a word.
Well then, now you know.
Exactly.
I'm glad I can teach you these things, Crow.
Everyone has learned something today. I'm not sure what I've taught people, but I've taught people something.
You've taught people not to have you as a teacher.
I would be an amazing teacher. All right.
Yeah,
So
you can pass all the
if you like
tentacles.
this, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe if you want to do that. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I am at the Norse Crow. He is at Rang Cossack. And this has been Subject to Change. And we will see you again next week.
You are such a plugging bastard.
We have to do this.
Maybe.
This is how I build up my army. This is how the Avian Alliance starts.
I thought it was via blood rites and sacrifice.
No, that's just the initiation process.
Well, we shouldn't delve into that.
No. So, good night, people.
See you later.